Hey, what's up, awesome developers, and welcome back to another project on React Native. So, in this video, we are going to build a quiz application using React Native and Expo framework. And other than that, we are going to use some other libraries like React Native navigation in order to navigate between different screens and React Native progress to show the progress of our quiz. Okay, so now let us move to the demo part. Here you can see on the screen we have the splash screen, and it contains an image and instructions label and three instructions below it. So each quiz has four options. Quiz progress will be shown at the top and score would be shown at the end of the quiz. And below that we have a start button. So once a user presses the start button, they would be navigated to the quiz screen where the actual questions would be loaded from this quiz set. So the first question would be loaded initially. So now let us see that. As soon as I press the start button, we have our first question. So on the top, we have the progress bar, which indicates the current progress of the quiz. Currently, most of it is empty because we are at the initial phase of the quiz. And we have the question, and we have four options attached to this question. So there is one correct answer, and as to the three are incorrect answers. And below that, we have a next button, which is to navigate to the next question. Okay, so now let me select an incorrect answer in order to show the functionalities. So once I press an incorrect answer, all the three answer would be disabled. Okay, we cannot select the any other now. So this is the selected option now. So which is the incorrect answer. And once we select an incorrect answer, the background option would be turned to red. And in case of correct answer, it would turn to green. I will show you that in the next question. So let us move to the next question. And once we move to the next question, you would see that the progress bar has been increased. The progress of the progress bar has been increased. Okay. So as you can see, the progress has increased. And now let me select a correct answer. What is virtual DOM? It is a representation of a DOM. And as soon as I select the correct option, the background color of the option turns to green, which indicates that it is a correct answer. Okay. Now I cannot select any other option. So now let us move to the next question. And you can also choose to not to answer any question. So in that case, you won't be getting any error, or we won't stop you from navigating to another question without even answering this currently loaded question. So we can easily navigate to the next question if we don't want to answer it. So now difference between React and React Native. So React is for web and Native is for mobile, and it is correct. Hence we got a green background. Purpose of use state is to manage state. And see, this is the last question, right? So the progress bar has been completely filled, and instead of the next button we got a finish button, okay, which indicates that this is the end of the quiz. And once we press on the finish button, we would be navigated to this score screen where you would be seeing how many points you have scored. So let me finish it, and you can see we have scored 30 points. And in this screen we have an image, okay, and below that we have the message which shows how much points we have scored. And below that we have another we have a button called play again. So in case you didn't score well, you can try playing again. So let me press on it again, and here we are utilizing the React Native navigation library to go back to the previous screen, to the main screen instead. So let me press the play again, and here we are again back to the main screen, and you can start playing again. Okay, so this time let us correctly fill the answer. UI library for JavaScript, representation of the DOM, to render UI, and we answered all the questions correctly. So we are going to score 50 points. So there are 5 questions in total. Each answer has 10 correct points. So we scored 50 points, right? So now, yeah. So this was it for the quiz application. And now the first part that we are going to do is we're going to set up our navigation, basically stack navigator. So, and before that, yeah, we need to set up our project. So for that, I'm going in my code snippets folder. You can choose any folder you want to. And now we are going to run the expo command. And now to create a brand new expo project, we are going to run a command npx create expo app. And now we need to name our project. So I would name it, let's say, quiz buzz. You can name it whatever you want. And it would take some time to configure everything. Meanwhile, let us go to the React Native documentation. So this is the React Native documentation that we'll be using in order to implement the stack navigation in our project. And it is completely an awesome documentation. So you can go over to read docs. So I will walk you through the necessary dependencies that we need to install in an Expo product. And yeah, so by that we are going to set it up. So meanwhile, our project is also ready. So let me run it first. Go to cd quizbuzz and let me run iOS. So if you're using Android, you can run npm run Android. For in my case, I would run iOS. Let me press I to open iOS simulator. And over here you can see we have a brand new project, and this is coming from our quizbuzz project itself. So let me import it to the VS Code. Here is our quizbuzz project. Yeah, so here we have the blank template, and let me open a terminal to install dependencies of React Native navigation. So here you can see they have mentioned that if we are using an Expo project, we need to run these two commands. So this is basically the React Native screens and React Native safe area context. So let us run them. So these two packages are being installed, and they are installed now. And now they have mentioned that we can now continue to the React navigation to start writing some navigation code. So let us head over to it. And over here they are telling us to install the stack navigator library. Okay, so in order to install the stack navigator, we need to run these commands. And let me run this. Yeah, so our stack has also been installed. And now what we need to do is basically they're telling us to create a native stack navigator. Okay, so this is the native stack navigator, which basically contains the navigation tree. Okay, so we use basically this function in order to create the stack. Okay, so it provides us with the navigation container, which basically wraps all the tree, and it contains the state of our navigation. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to basically first copy this file, head over to your app, make a folder of src. So now let us create a navigation folder inside it, and another folder would be screens, and one folder for components if we are going to use any, though I don't think we are going to make any separate component. So inside this navigation we are going to create another file called app navigator, and we are going to paste the code that we just copied from this library. Okay, and over here we are going to remove the unnecessary stuff. So here we are going to use this create native stack navigator method from the library that installed, and it basically gives us the stack. And on this stack we have navigator and screens. So basically inside this navigator wrapper we can paste as many screen as we want. So all our screens that are related to a particular stack, we can paste it over here, we can add it over here. Okay, and this is the navigation container, which I told that contains the entire state of our navigation tree. And now what we need to do is we need to create some screens. So let me first create a splash screen. Another one would be question. Now we have two screens and we can check if we are going to navigate smoothly. So let me splash. Here we are going to give the name of the screen, and here we're going to import the actual screen itself, so it is splash. And this name is important because when we are going to navigate from one screen to another, we while navigating we have to provide the name. Okay, so let me show you. So we have one screen called splash and the another one is question screen, right? So from the splash you are going to navigate to the question screen, right? So while navigating you have to provide the name, this particular name in the splash screen while navigating, so that the stack navigation knows that what screen you are being navigated to. Okay, what screen you want to navigate to. And we do not need this home screen. And the navigation part I will show it more clearly once we actually implement the navigation code. So we have added these two screens in our code, and now let us run our app again. Okay, we need to add the navigator here itself, and over here what we are going to return is we are going to return the navigator. So it's not navigator, it's app navigator. Somehow it is not coming up. What is the name? Okay, it is app navigator. And export default app navigator. And over here what we're going to do is we're going to get it. Okay, this target is useless, we'll remove that, we don't need it. And as you can see we have our splash screen being showed up over here. So because in the navigator the top screen is splash, so the very first screen that showed up on the UI is splash. If you change the order of it, then the first screen we are going to see is it would be the question screen. Okay, let me refresh it. Yeah, you can see we have the question screen. Okay, by the way, I refreshed by double pressing the R key on the keyboard, but now we want only the splash screen to be shown on top, so I will again reverse the order. I don't know why it is not refreshing automatically. Okay, so yeah, we have the splash screen, and on the splash screen if I create a pressable, and if I pass a text which is called go to questions, so we are going to style the pressable in the actual project itself. So this is just for the understanding the navigation part. So I have this pressable, and on press what we're going to do is we're going to navigate to the quiz screen. So let me first import the navigation. So here you can see I have extracted the navigation pro. So when you register screens like this, they all have access to this navigation pro. Okay, because this is used to navigate to the different screens. So now you can use navigation dot navigate, and you can pass the screen name. So as I told that whatever name we pass over here, we need to use it while navigating. So here we have added the question, and now once I press this, see we are redirected to the question screen. Okay, so this was it for the stack navigator in this project. So this is how you add a stack navigator to your React Native applications. Those are built using Expo. Okay, so again let me put a recap. We first what we did is we basically added a navigation folder. Inside this we have an app navigator, and we have installed certain dependencies which are basically used to navigate from one screen to different screen. And the first library is native, and another one is native stack, which gives us a function called create native stack navigator, and this function returns us a stack object, and on this we can call the screen and the stack navigator. Okay, so we are going to see what this stack navigator does. So let's say you need to pass a function of called, let's say, header shown screen options, and it is header shown, and let's say I uh, turn it to false, then no header would be shown. Okay, so now what is this navigator? So when you need to implement uh, every functionality for all the screens, then what you do is you basically pass this screen options over here. Okay, because now let's say you want to hide the header from every screen. So instead of passing individually on these screens, what we do is we basically pass it on the navigator itself. Okay, now the header from each screen would be gone, but currently I do not want this, so what I do is I would remove it. Okay, and similarly if you just want to remove the header from the but this particular screen, you can add an option over here to remove the header. Okay, and you can read, there are tons of options, tons of properties. You can basically read this, how to configure your navigation. Okay, this is a very useful documentation, so you can go over to it and read it. So in this video, this is it for the navigation part. And in our next video, what we are going to do is we are going to basically and now what we're going to do is we're going to basically design the splash screen. Okay, now we will add Tailwind to our project, and for that we are going to use another library, npm package. So basically we are not gonna use style sheet, the React Native style sheet in this project. Instead we are going to rely on Tailwind CSS. It basically makes the styling process a lot smoother and a lot faster. Okay, so now head over to Chrome and search for this package, which is called TWRNC, Tailwind React Native class names. Okay, so the very first thing that you need to do is you can read the documentation if you want to, but if you just want to use it quickly, so for that just copy this and head over to your VS Code and install this package. Okay, so this package has been installed, and now what we need to do is we need to import this tw class from this library. So for that what we are going to do is I'm gonna copy this, and now how do I use it? So in order to use it, what we are going to do is we are going to change the color of this text. So add the style probe and use tw and use the backticks, and now add whatever property that you want to. So I want to change the color, so I would say text would be, let's say, yellow, and along with that we need to give some number for that. Okay, yeah, so it has changed to yellow. Okay, and now let's say you want to increase the, first let me change the text color. It is not very much visible, I guess, so let me use purple. Yeah, and let me make the font a bit, yeah, so now it is medium. Okay, and we can also increase the font size, so let me make it 2 XL. Yeah, now it is quite uh, increased in size. So this is how you can use this package in order to style your elements. Okay, and let me show you some more. So if we want to style this pressable, what we can do is we can add a background color, let's say orange. Yeah, see, it has got the background color as orange. Okay, so this is how you can add Tailwind to your React Native applications. It was quite simple and easy to implement. And now what we are going to do is we are going to design the our splash screen. Okay, so let's get started with that. So in the design, as you might have seen in the demo, we have got a image, and after that we have got a set of instructions, and below that we have a start button. So we're going to design that in a similar way. So let me remove all this and let us code from scratch. So the very first thing that I'm gonna need is image from React Native itself. And to this we're going to pass a prop called source, and we're going to use the require method. The asset slash images slash splash dot. Still the image is not visible, reason being we need to add some styling to it. So style would be like this, and we can use a style method from this package that we have installed. Okay, and inside this we'll write the style, and we are using it in this way because we need to use a React Native object as well, because we need to apply the aspect ratio. So that's why we are using this function so that we can use both stylings. So for that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it a height of 6, and as I said, we need to give it a aspect ratio. Okay, so now this what this aspect ratio is, it basically aspect ratio 1 keeps the width and height equal. Okay, so it is the ratio of the width and height. So currently, I want that the height and width should be of same ratio, so I have given it 1. And now what we need to do is, yeah, we need to add flex one over here as well. Also guys, if you are using the same image, then you will see that the background of the screen is different because the background of image is white. So for that, what you need to do is head over to app navigator, and over here in the navigator you can add a screen options and set the content style and the background color to be white. Okay, this I have added, but I forgot to show it. So this is the thing that you can do if you think that the background color is different and the image color is different. So I have made the background color of the screen as white also. And yeah, back to the splash screen. Now what we need to do is, yeah, so our image is looking perfectly fine. Now what we need to do is we need to add the instruction for set instruction. So first we are going to add the label. Let us make it a bit larger. Excel, that seems fine, and let me center it. Yeah, perfect. And other than this, let me make the font size of a little smaller. And now we need a instruction box. So view text. So okay guys, I had basically copy pasted the set of instructions. Okay, and now we are going to use this. So the very first one is this one, and also you can use the map method of JavaScript in order to iterate over the instructions set, but currently I'm using text component 3 times instead of rendering it. Okay, so now another one. Okay, and now we don't need this. Yeah, so now we have our set of instructions, and now let's style them. Again, we're going to use a TW, and first I'm going to give it a background of purple. Yes, and the text color should be white. Also, it should be a little larger, the text ng, and let us copy paste the same over here. Over here. Okay. Yeah, and now we need some padding from over here. So first let me center things. Yeah, perfect. And justify not center, I would use around. Yeah, it seems fine now. And let us continue styling the instructions box. I want it to be rounded, and this there's too much spacing between the instruction. And okay, this because of this justify round, let us just remove it. Okay, and with the instructions I want a padding of 10 maybe. Yeah, it seems fine now. And also let us give some height and width to the instruction set. And yeah, consent and justify. Yeah, now this seems fine. And yeah, that's it for this texting. Now let us add the start button. For that I'm going to use the pressable. Now let us start styling our pressable. Again, we're going to use TW from the package installed. And first I'm going to give it a background of same purple color. Some margin from top and 10. Yeah, and some padding. Text color should be white. And let us increase the font size as well. Let us remove the padding. Give it padding of, yeah, and p by 2 yeah, p4 seems fine. Okay, or maybe you can increase it a little. Yeah, this seems fine. Okay, so everything looks fine. We have added the image, we have added the instructions label, our instructions, three instructions are also at place, and we have this start button. Okay, you can definitely try pushing down the position of this button, but it seems fine to me. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we're going to navigate it to the quiz question screen. So on the start button, on this special prop, we have a prop called on press, and we're going to navigation dot navigate, and it has to be name of the screen question. Now those of you who don't know what is navigation dot navigate, so whenever we register any screen inside the basically this stack navigator, we get access to this navigation pro. Okay, this navigation pro, and I have destructured it directly over here, and now I'm using this navigation prop in order to navigate it. So this navigation object gives us a method called navigate. So and inside this we can pass the screen name that we want to navigate to. So in our case we want to navigate to the question. So now let us see if it is navigating or not. Okay, it showed throw an error navigate. Okay, spelling mistake navigate. Let us try again. Yeah, it is perfectly navigating to the question screen. So now what we are going to do is we are going to implement the questions screen. We are going to design the question screen. We are going to load the questions, and we are going to show the question and the options for it. So now let us work on that. So guys, now we will start working on our question screen, and we will try loading our questions from the array of questions that we have. So first of all, I have added another folder in this source directory, and the folder name is config, and inside this I have created a question.js file, and in this we have kept our questions. And let us now analyze the this data so that we can work with it. So this is the React questions array, and it is an array of objects. Okay, so there are multiple objects. Okay, so there are around 5 objects, and each objects contain 3 keys. One is the question itself, question key, and then it has the options. Okay, the options for the question, and then it has a correct answer. Okay, so and I have added the text itself. You can also keep index for the correct answer. So let's say the index is the correct answer index could be from the options, it could be 0. Okay, because this is at the 0th index, but I have simply, for the sake of simplicity, I have kept it as the text itself. Okay, and similarly, this is another object, and it has again the question key, then option key, and the correct answer. Okay, so now let's start working on it, and let us try to render it on the screen. So first thing, I don't need this one, so I would use the curly brackets, and we will enter the JavaScript mode. And now I'm gonna use the React questions, and this is imported from the config folder itself. Now we are going to use the map method of JavaScript, and we are going to loop over it. So each object can be called as question. So let me call it question, and for each one of it, we are going to render a view. Okay, now this question. And now inside this view, we are going to render the question, and let us see if our questions are being rendered. Okay, it is okay. Okay, got it. So here we have to write question dot question, because here we are extracting the object itself, right? This is an object. This is this particular object, and we need to extract this part. So obviously we have to write it as question dot question. But let us call it item, and now we are going to write item dot question. Now let us see if it is entering. Yeah, so we have our 5 questions being listed down over here. But now what we want to do is we want to just render the first question and note the 5 question at one place. So we first want to render only the first question, and along with that we want to render the options of it, right? So now let us start working on it. So for that, what you need to do is, let me make a text component, and here we are going to render our question. So it would be React question. Okay, yeah, first we need to initialize the state, current question index, set current index, and initially the index would be 0. Okay, so and now what we are going to do is we are going to pass it over here, current question index dot question. So now, yeah, it is working. So let me comment this for a while. Yes, now we have our first question, right? So if I change one over here, then we have our second question. So how it is working is that the current question index, it is being passed over here. So currently it is 0. Okay, so in this array at the 0th index, what we have this particular object, right? And now in this particular object, if we try to access the dot question property, what does it has? So this has this particular value. So this is being rendered over here. So this is basic JavaScript, right? So I hope you got this. And now what we need to do is we need to render the options, right? So yeah, for that, let me uncomment this and React questions. Again, we are going to get the index current questions, and we are going to map over the options. Okay, we and now what we need to do is it would be just item. Okay, so let us call it option. So now see, all the options are being visible. Okay, so what is the React? So these were the options, and these are being rendered over here. Okay, so yeah, the logic same. The current question index is being passed over here, and then for that particular object we are trying to loop over the options array, and then we are basically iterating over it, and we are basically extracting the option, and we are simply rendering the options one by one. So now what we need to do is we need to polish the UI for it. So let us do that. Let us give some margin. Okay, need to import. Now let us style this text. Text will be to Excel, and also we should give padding to this whole view. Yeah, and now let us style the options. Okay, it's not BG. I want to give border. Okay, it will be border 2. First, we need to define the width as well. Yeah, and now we have the border. Along with that, I want some padding. Yes, that's fine. And some margin. Yes, and I want some roundness, so I would add rounded MD. Yeah, so now this is round, right? And here we can remove the padding, I guess, because we have it on the view. Then we need to remove the margin of padding. Yeah, and we can give margin of vertical. Yeah, now it's fine. So now what we need to do is we need to increase the text size also. Let us keep it LG for a while. Yeah, LG seems fine to me. And also we need some spacing below this question and the options. So MB4. Yeah, this seems fine to me. And other than that, what else we can do? Now we need a next button also, right? So for that, what we can do is we can import a pressable. The pressable is not imported. Something broke. Okay, we need to put it inside the view. Yeah, we have our button. Now let us style the button. It will be G purple 500. Some padding, maybe 4. Yeah, and rounded MD. And to the text, I would give text of white, and text would be large. Let us keep this padding a little bit. Okay, it's fine. Before is fine. And we need some spacing from the top. Yeah, perfect. And we need the text to be center. Yeah, seems great. And also what we can do is we can increase the boldness. So yeah, it seems fine to me now. So this is our UI for the question screen. We have the question, then we have 4 options, and we have a next button. Now what we need to implement is that on the press of this next, our next question should be loaded. So for that, what we are going to do is we are going to handle this by using the on press probe and pressable component and handle next. And I would define a function over here. And now what we need to do is we need to update the state, right? Because this is the variable that is responsible for rendering the questions as per the index. So on the press of this next button, if I increase the current question index of this particular variable, then we can simply render the next question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a setter function, and I'm going to do current question index plus 1. Okay, so now let us try if this is working. Perfect. We rendered our next question. Now again let me press over it. Yeah, our third question is being rendered, and now the fourth question. and now the fifth question is being rendered. And if I press again, this is the last question, and if I press again, you see we got an error. Why? Because the array has been finished and still we are trying to access the next element. Okay, next we are still incrementing it, so it doesn't have that particular index, and hence it throws an error. For that we can add a temporary check, which I will fix later. So currently what we are going to do is, if current question index is equal to the react question dot length minus 1, then we are going to simply alert as of now, or we are just going to do a return. Okay, so this would be the fix. For a while we are going to change it in some time, but just to fix the error. Okay, it is still not working. Okay, length, let's try again. Third question, fourth question, and yeah, this is the fifth question. So we are not moving forward. Okay, so this is a temporary check, we'll fix it. So now let us start working on implementing the functionalities of this question screen, where we are going to change the color of the options, the background color of the options conditionally. So if a user selects the correct answer, the background color of the option would be changed to green, and if a user presses the correct wrong answer, then it would be changed to red. So let us start working on this feature now. So for this we'll be adding some additional states over here. Okay, we'll be needing them, and for that and other thing that we are going to need is another function in order to handle the pressing of the option. So let us attach that function to this on press event, and we're going to pass the selected option to it. So let me make the function over here. Handle option press, let me make an arrow function, and here we'll be we'll be basically accessing the pressed option. And now let me just quickly check whether this wiring is working fine or not. So let me try this one. Yeah, this one. Okay, yes, so this is working fine. Okay, and now we need to do certain things when a user presses the any one of the options. So we need to update the score, we need to change the background color conditionally, and yeah, so these are the basic things that we need to do. So let's start working on this. So let me initialize the state for score. Initially this would be 0, and we're going to initialize another state of selected option, and it would be initially null because initially no option would be selected, right? Similarly I would create another state. This for is correct, set is correct, and it would be null initially. So here what we're doing is we need this particular state to conditionally render the background color. Okay, so let us start on this. Here the first thing we are going to do is we're going to update the selected option to the pressed option, because this particular option is the one that the user has pressed, so we are going to update the state. And now we are going to make another variable, is answer correct, and here we are going to check if the get question dot correct question index dot correct answer, if the answer matches the pressed option. Okay, so we are going to check this, and if it is if it matches this is answer correct variable, it would be true. Okay, so for that what we're going to do is we're going to update the state. So either this would be true or this would be false. So this particular variable, it would be either going to true or it would be false. And once this is done, we are going to basically check if the answer is correct, because we need to update the score only when the answer is correct, right? So set, what is the set score? We're going to take the previous score and we are going to increment it by 10, sorry. Yeah, so I hope this will work. And now what we need to do is we need to basically conditionally render the style, right? So instead of this, first let us check if we are getting correct or not. So let us try logging it to the console. So yeah, initially it is null. Let me make it like this. Yeah, is correct is null, and let me select an answer. Yeah, so is correct is true. And now if I select another answer, see, this is false. And now we are able to select multiple options, but we'll disable once the user select a particular option, the remaining option would get disabled. So we will implement that in a while. So yeah, this functionality is working fine. We just now need to conditionally render the background color. So for that, what we are going to do is we're gonna come over here, and here we're going to check if the selected option is equal to the option being pressed. Okay, because once the user presses any option, the selected option, this would also be updated, right? So we're going to check if the selected option is equal to the option, and if it is correct, what is the name of the video? Yeah, it is correct. So in that case, if it is correct, we are going to show green color. So it would be border green 500 maybe. And if this is not the case, then we're going to show red. Okay, and if none of this is true, then we are going to show this particular thing. I will explain the logic in a while. Let me first put the pieces together. And green red. Okay, it is not green red, it should be red 500. Yeah, so now let me check if this is working fine. Yeah, we have the border already, and it automatically got selected because we had currently pressed this option, right? So for this we are going to fix this over here. Do not worry about that. Let me start it again. Yeah, so initially they are in the initial state, and if I press the correct answer, it should turn to green. Yeah, so the border has turned to green, so this means that this is the correct answer. And and if I try to press, see, we are able to select multiple options, so we need to disable this. So for that, what we're going to do is we're going to pass another prop over here. Disable will be true if the selected option has some value. So now if I try to select, see, we cannot select any other option now. Okay, and now what else we need to do is we need to also change the background color. So for that, what we are going to do is bg, and similarly bg red 500. Okay, let us decrease the number to 200. Yeah, this seems fine now. Okay, yeah, we cannot select any other option. And now what else is remaining? Yeah, now if I move to the next screen, let me, okay, yeah, now see, this is a bug. We are not able to select any element. Because why? Because this selected option, it is not null now, because we already selected another option in the previous screen. So if you try to log the selected option over here, it won't be null, because it is already, we have an option and when we navigate to the next question, this is not null now. So in order to fix this, what we are going to do is, what we are going to do is, not here, yeah, let's add this. Let me keep a else block over here. Let me put this in the else block and set selected option, it would be set to null, and selected option and set is correct. Set is correct, this would also be set to null. Okay, so we are setting null because we need, while we are going to the next question, these two states, this should be again reset it to null, right? Yeah, so I hope you got the logic, and now we won't be able to face that bug. Let me start it again. What is React? A UI library for JavaScript, perfect. Other options are not being selected, they are disabled. Now let me move to the next question. What is virtual DOM? Let me choose an incorrect answer, a way to store state, perfect. See, we got the incorrect answer, and now we cannot select any of the other options. Let me move to the next question again. Purpose of render method in React components to render UI, perfect. Another, so we again got the green background. So this was the functionality in order to navigate to the next questions. We have successfully implemented that, and I hope the score is also getting incremented. So let me show you that. Yeah, see, we got 20 points as the score, so it is also implementing correctly. It is 30 now, perfect. And this is the last question, and I have mentioned this return statement over here. So we are not going to the next screen now. So now let us remove this return, and now what we need to do is we need to move to the scores screen. Okay, for that let me create another screen. Let me register it in our app navigator. Okay, and now over here, not here, what we're going to do is we are going to navigate to the score screen. So navigate, so it is navigation, not navigate, navigation dot navigate to score screen. So if we arrive at the last question, and if I press the next button, then we're going to navigate to the score screen. Let me correct the spelling. Let me press it. Okay, something went wrong, maybe some typo with the spelling. Okay, it is capital score, capital S. Let me try it again. Yeah, now see, when the last question comes, we are navigating to the score screen. Also here you can see, instead of next we should show finish, right? Because this is the last question. So again we are going to copy this particular check, and we are going to implement it over here. So if it is the last question, we are going to show finish text, otherwise it would be next. Yeah, see, now we have the finish button over here. Let us again start it. We have next over here, next, next, and now we have finish. So yeah, these are the minor changes that we had done here. Now the only thing left is the score screen, and other than that we need to render a progress bar on the top of it. So now we are going to work on these. So now let's start working on that. So inside this, what we need is, as you have seen in the UI, we need an image first. So first we are going to basically remove this, and the image would be like, it would be having the similar style like this one. So let me copy paste this. We need to import image. Okay, we need to do some more importing. Import tw from TWRNC. And guys, let me what I should do is let me move it to the top so that we don't have to navigate every time to the end of the screen. Because currently I have to attempt every question and then we move to the score screen. So I have put it in the top so that initially this screen is only shown. Yeah, so we have this one, and we just need to change the image from splash. It would be score image, score image dot png. Yeah, right. And we need to add some styling over here. Flex one and items center. Yeah, and now other than that we need to show the score, right? So for that we are going to use the text probe. Use code and here score points, and now we need to basically get the score from this quiz, from this question screen, right? So what we are going to do is, where we are navigating over here, right? So how do we pass the score? We pass it like a in an object. Okay, so this particular score, it is being passed over here, and now in order to access it, what we are going to do is we're going to use route hook. Okay, it is not getting imported, so let me import it from React native navigation, it is, I guess. And now we are going to use it, so it would be route, use route. So this particular hook gives us this way, this object, and now what we can do is from this we can extract the parameters. So it would be score. Okay, so route dot params. So now we have access to score, and now let us render it over here. Okay, it's not React Native, it's React Navigation. So I had messed up the syntax. So yeah, this is how we are going to import it. Let me refresh the app again. Okay, somehow it is throwing error for, okay, it is throwing error for score. How it is possible? Score cannot it property score of undefined. Let me log this score. Okay, it must be coming as undefined only. How dot params. Okay, I got it. It is coming undefined because we have this screen as the top screen. So again, let me put it back, because this screen was at the top, right? And we haven't played any quiz, so how would this score would be updated over in this particular screen? So that's why it is coming as undefined. So now let us quickly navigate. Yeah, we have scored 10 points. So now the error has gone and we have successfully rendered the points. And other than that, what we need to do is we need to basically add a pressable. So we are going to add a pressable for play again, and For this, let us style this as well. Would have a BG purple 500 and some padding, rounded MD, and the text would be white. And from the top it would be having some margin. Yeah, this seems fine. And let us turn it to font of medium. Yeah, and now on the press of this play again button, it will be redirected to the initial screen. So let us use the navigation prop again. Navigation dot navigate splash. Okay, so we need to navigate to the splash screen. Now let us check if we are currently correctly redirected to the initial screen or not. Let me press it. Okay, it threw an error. Navigation dot navigate. Again, I did a spelling mistake. It's navigate. Now let us check again. Yeah, it is successfully goes back to the initial screen. Now again you can play. You can attempt the quiz, and let me do all the answers has been correct. And again we have got a very low score. Now let us start playing again. So this time let me correct all the answers. And now we have got 50 points. Yeah, so this is the whole flow. And yeah, one thing that is missing is the progress bar. So now let us start working on the progress bar itself. So guys, now let us wrap it up by adding the progress bar in our quiz application. So for that, what we are going to do is we're going to navigate, we're going to basically add another package, React Native Progress. And this is a really cool package that it gives us many different type of progresses. So the one that we're going to use in this is this bar basically, okay? So let us quickly install it over here. Let me run the command in the terminal. And meanwhile, let me remove all these console logs and let me put a comment. Yeah, so the package has been installed. Now let us head over to the documentation, and they have basically in the uses you have to copy this and just paste it in the screen that you want to render the progress bar. And now we need this one. And if you want to read more about this, you can check the documentation over here, progress.bar. It has the props, width, height, border radius, and many other, so you can check it out. And now let me import it over here. And let me start the server again. Yeah, so now we have this progress bar. It's just we need to basically revamp it, restyle it. So for that, what we are going to do is we are going to wrap it inside a view. And we are going to give it a style of flex1, and it would contain another view, and this would be inside that view. To this we are going to give it flex row. And now other things that we need to do is we need to basically, okay, the width is this, and we need to give the height, let's say 20. Okay, it is not refreshing, I guess. has to be flex row. Yeah, now this is working, and we can also increase or decrease the height. Yeah, so things are getting refreshed. So the inside view, it would be of the flex one, and the outer view, this would be the flex row. Okay, so this is the code that I got from the Stack Overflow itself. So just add these two styles so that it works properly. Okay, and now what we need to do is we are going to set the width to null. So by setting the width to null, it will take the as much width as it can. Okay, so yeah, this is the full width that we want. And for the color, what we are going to do is we are going to pass a color which I have already taken. Yeah, this is the color that we want. Okay, so now you can change the progress from here itself. See, okay, perfect. But we would be needing this progress dynamically, right? So as soon as the user keeps on progressing the quiz, we need to change the progress as well. So for that, what we are going to do is set quiz progress, and it would be quiz and the length of the quiz. So react questions dot length. And now what we need to do is need to grab the progress. So how would the progress would be calculated? It would be the current question index plus 1, and it would be divided by the total length. So this is the total length, right? And now we are going to pass this progress over here. Yeah, so now this is perfect. Now let us move. Okay, if it is not the last question, then how it is getting filled up completely? So we have messed up something. Okay, I guess the board mass is, yeah, now this is fine. So now let us start again. Initially this is the progress. Let me move to the next question. Yes, this is increasing. This is the third question, this is the fourth question, and this is the fifth question. So as soon as we reach the end, the progress bar fills up completely. So this is the feature that I wanted to implement, and you can just polish the UI. You can give a gap between these two things. Okay, so it looks more polished. And now let me mark one question. It would show 10 as the score. Yeah, so we got 10 points. Yeah, so this was it for the quiz application, guys, and I hope you liked the video. And if you did, kindly please consider subscribing my channel so that I keep on posting more such stuff.